Camille belle, la moustache et la capucha. Sito patamilo, mina taka tiki punetika. Sito patamilo, mina taka tiki punetika. Sito patamilo, mina taka tiki punetika. Sito patamilo, mina taka tiki taka tiki. Sito patamilo, mina taka tiki punetika. Sito patamilo, mina taka tiki punetika. Sito patamilo, mina taka tiki punetika. Camille belle, la moustache et la capucha.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today, I know it's been a long time since I've been back. I'm back now. Just to give y'all an idea what's happening, I'm here to let y'all know I knew something didn't make any sense. I knew Fan Snyder was still involved somehow. I knew this was going to be a case. I knew this was going to be a thing. I told you guys this was going to be a thing. I told you guys he was going to stay involved. And I told you there was no way he was not going to be involved. So let me tell y'all what's happening right now. Okay, everybody sits up here and they were talking about, oh, you know, they're trying to change the culture, which is why they're signing these guys. And, you know, these guys are guys that have been talked about and everything like that. And I said, nah, none of this is making any sense. I don't see a plan here. I don't see a plan here at all that makes any type of sense. Because again, if you're trying to change the character or the culture of the team, you would have to get rid of all its leaders. All its leaders, all the people who are locker room leaders, all the people who make sense to be locker room leaders, you would have to get rid of all of them to change a culture that you deem as losing. Now again, the coaches, that was going to happen. But when you think about some of the other people, the guys that you let go weren't really leaders in the locker room. Minus Trent Williams, because understand this, Trent would still be here if he sat up there and said, hey y'all, you know what? Just give me $15 million, extend me 3 years, and I'm fine. I want to be here. Understand, if Trent said that, he would still be here. So let's exclude Trent from the argument. If you're changing the culture for a team because you have to change the culture, but you have to get rid of the leadership to change the culture, the only players you let go or you even did anything to were Josh Norman, who people don't see as a locker room leader, and it was very clear he was not a locker room leader. Quentin Dunbar, again, a guy that's not a locker room leader. Monte Nicholson, again, a guy not a locker room leader. Colt McCoy, who was the darling of Jay Gruden for some reason. He always knew the offense. Just for some reason, he was never able to play enough games to show us how to run the offense. Case Keenum, he wasn't really a locker room leader. Nobody looked to him as a leader. So Eric Flowers was trying to adjust to the fact that he was playing guard now. He did a damn good job at it, got himself paid from it, but again, not a locker room guy. So again, all these signings that's going on, how's that a culture change? It wasn't a culture change. See, and I kept telling y'all, I don't see a plan in this. Everybody was talking about culture change. No. None of this looked like a culture change because you didn't get rid of any real leaders. You didn't get rid of, for real, like I said, again, if Trent would have said he wanted to come back after they fired everybody, everything would have been fine. Ryan Kerrigan, he's still here. Jonathan Allen, he's still here. Think about the guys that they legitimately look at as locker room leaders. John Bostic came back. You know, come on. Landon Collins is still here. Come on. These are all guys who were supposed to be locker room leaders. These are all locker room leaders. All these guys. The guys that are now gone weren't locker room leaders at all. So then y'all say, well, but John, what was the plan? The plan was to fail this upcoming season. Now, I want y'all to understand this. I'm not saying like fail and kind of like blow the season. What I'm saying is that you're failing this year for next year's results. What do I mean by that? Next year, the Redskins will have available to them in cap almost $100 million. $100 million will be available to the Redskins next year. So it now makes sense why you sign so many guys to 1 and 2 year deals, because you need to get to next year so you can have all that cap space available to you. Guess what else will be available to them? All their draft picks. They have yet to even do anything that will relinquish them. Hopefully they don't do nothing in this upcoming draft that will relinquish next year's picks. But for the first time, the Redskins will have tons of free agent money and all their draft picks available to them. All of them. Not only that, I think they will be getting a pick next year for losing Jamison Crowder. I think it's also next year. I think it's also next year that they get the pick for Jamison Crowder for losing him in free agency. So again, what I'm telling y'all is that all this, everything that's going on, everything that don't make sense with this free agency and everything like that, all this is building up for next year. That means Ron Rivera will actually really be able to build his team next year. Now, yeah, a lot of y'all may say, well, John, I mean, how can they go for some uncertainty like this? Let me explain to y'all. There are so many guys available in free agency next year that are, one, young, and two, in positions that of need that we have. Young and in positions of need that we have. Now, again, if some of our draft picks work out for us, fine. That's great. But they aren't expecting for anything. They're just trying to get to next year. Now, let me explain to y'all who's available out there. Let's just think about running back. We got an issue at running back. Adrian Peterson is aging. We're going to have to move on eventually. Darius Geis, he's injured all the time. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what we got in Bryce Love. We got Kissick. We just got guys here. But let me just break down who's available next year. At running back, you got Leonard Fournette from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He does have a club option. The team does have a club option for him, but you don't know what may happen with that. Christian McCaffrey, also club option. He may be available next year, depending on what the Carolina Panthers really want and the direction they may want to go in. You got Matt Breida from the San Francisco 49ers. He will be available. Kenyon Drake will be available if he only signs that 1 year deal. Kareem Hunt will possibly be available. Dalvin Cook may be available. Joe Mixon may be available. Jerick McKinnon may be another Vikings running back. And Alvin Kamara. So understand this. Right now, you're talking about Redskins having almost $100 million available to them and possibly any one of these running backs available to them, all of them young. At tight end, they will have availability at tight end as well. You're talking about David Njoku, who has a club option, but depending on how he plays this year, Cleveland may sit up there and say, you know what, we have Hooper here. Let's let David go ahead and walk because we might need us another blocker. You got O.J. Howard up in Tampa Bay. Fairly decent tight end. Didn't look that bad when he was playing with Jameis Winston. So he's not that bad of a tight end. Evan Ingram up there at the Giants. Again, another guy. I think he's unrestricted free agent, but the other two guys got club options. Gerald Everett from the Los Angeles Rams, fairly decent tight end who can block. And Matt LaCrosse from the New Orleans Saints. So understand that you got available guys who can actually come in and start playing for you this year, and you might be able to sign two depending on how you feel. But again, when you got pretty much almost $100 million available to you in cap space, it's not going to matter. Let me keep on going. Left tackle, that Ronnie Stanley up there in Baltimore will be available. He's an unrestricted free agent. You talking about Cedric Ogbuehi, Ogbuehi. I think that's how you say his name. Up there in Seattle, he will be available. Taylor Morton from the Carolina Panthers, he will be available. And not only that, he's also a very consistent guy. He plays 16 games each year he's been in the league. And he will only be, I think, 25 or 26. So again, he's young. And last but not least, Deion Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills. Again, young guy. All these guys are young. Almost $100 million in cap space. Think about it, people. Keep thinking about it. Last but not least, cornerback. You guys don't realize how many top-level cornerbacks are going to be available this year. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the top are older guys, like Patrick Peterson. I think Patrick Peterson is one, because I think Patrick Peterson will be 31 or something like that. Some guys are up there in age, but you also got some younger guys who aren't up there in age. Jalen Ramsey will be available. I think his name is Mackenzie Alexander from the Cincinnati Bengals. He will be available. Kevin King from the Green Bay Packers. He will be available. Artie Burns from Chicago. He'll be available. Shaquille Griffin from Seattle. He'll be available. So again, y'all, all this now makes sense when you put it into the contents of saying fail this year for the focus of next year. Fail this year so Ron Rivera can build the team next year. Now, saying that all makes sense now. The signings, the one-year deals, all that type of stuff. Understand this. If some of these guys work out, then fine. But if none of those guys work out, no real hurt. Because you know why? Most of them are on one-year deals. And guess what? All that one-year deal money goes to that cap. Like I said again, you're talking about almost $100 million available to the Redskins for free agency next year. And they will have the draft picks. They will have all their draft picks available to them. They can move down in next year's draft and pick up more capital when it comes to draft picks, depending on what's coming out next year. So understand this. Like I said again, if the whole goal of next year is to fail, if the whole goal for this upcoming football season is to fail, I'm 100% in. I'm 100% in, because no matter what goes on, you can see that in reality, that's what they're looking for. I told y'all, Fan Snyder is not, I said, as much as I dislike Fan Snyder, as much as I do, I knew he was not going to sit up here and not be involved. When Clinton Portis came out and said that he would take Isaiah Simmons at number 2 overall, I sat up there and I told my friends immediately, I said, hold on, wait. Dan Snyder's going to make an announcement. Watch what I tell you. He's going to make an announcement. Everybody was like, nah, I don't see it happening. I said, give him some time. Dan Snyder will make an announcement. And sure enough, if I wasn't on point with it, immediately a report comes out that says Fan Snyder wants Chase Young. Don't get me wrong, again, I want Chase Young. It's the smart pick. But when they sat up there and said Fan Snyder wanted Chase Young and that they were picking Chase Young because it's what Fan Snyder wanted, I knew right then and there. Again, y'all, I told you, he's never going to be out of the loop. He's never going to be out of not making decisions for this team. I knew it. But again, I will say this. I now get the plan. The plan is not to be if you happen to be successful this year, fine. But guess what? Your ultimate goal is to build the team off of all the cap space you have available to you, almost $100 million, and also sit up there and have all your draft picks available to you. Again, like I said, if this is the plan, no. With this being the plan, with this being the plan, I'm 100% in. I understand if you're trying to sit up there and say, you know what, we're just going to let this part of the season play out. Hopefully Dwayne Haskins does good. Hopefully Kelvin Harmon does good. Then we may not have to sign any of these big name other guys. Hopefully they all do good. But come next year, we're going to be ultimate players in free agency and the draft. And if that is, and knowing that's the plan, I'm 100% in. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.